Hi ladies, today I want to really clear up how we unlock our metabolism. Yesterday we kind of spoke about how our environment is determining which fuels we're burning in with our body, and therefore what our symptoms are, what our life experience basically is based on the fuel that we're burning. So what I want to really, delve into today is how you can tap into that fuel source and how it actually works, because we've kind of been told that things are like how we lose weight as, calories in, calories out. And one of the really big missing parts is the fact that it's actually 100% hormonal. Fat metabolism, the log on the fire, is actually the metabolic process is unlocked and locked by hormones. And it's information we've known for a long time, but it's just not freely available. And this is the part that frustrates me, when people beat themselves up about it and think like there's something wrong with them, when in actual fact, this is purely just the information that you've been given is not correct. So I want to kind of give you the information on how you can unlock those stores, because then, like I said, when you're burning the fat, obviously you lose weight easily. It really feels like you're not even trying as such. You don't have to do the exercise. Also, you tap into extra energy, like 20 times the energy source that you have when you're otherwise burning other fuels. Also, like, it cleans up the body and, basically is like an upgrade. So what I want to share with you is how that unlocks. And so it is hormonal. Basically, sometimes I explain it like a little policeman with like a stop go sign on the edge of your fat cells, opening and closing it. And this little policeman is in your hormone insulin. So insulin is a really incredible hormone and has lots of roles, but primarily it's a fat storing hormone. And its job is, say, when your glucose, which we spoke about, when your glucose is too much in the blood and we don't like any more than a teaspoon, what it will do is it will sweep it up and then store it as fat. But what it also does is, when insulin's present, it locks up your fat stools so you can't metabolize it. And this is why it's really frustrating for some people, where they can be, say, cutting calories or they can be exercising, but insulin is still present, so they can't access the fat stores. So that's why you're not losing the weight, is because insulin is still present. Where what we want to do is we want to actually just get that policeman to turn the go sign, so that you can tap into those extra stores and unlock all that energy and, easy weight loss and brain function and all the stuff that we've spoken about. So let's talk about how you do that, okay? Because I want you to understand that, well, for one, what spikes insulin? What brings our insulin up? Now, there's a few things I'm going to speak about. First of all, food does. Any food. So even thinking about food can spike your insulin, but some foods more so than others, okay? So the foods that spike insulin the most are your sugars and carbohydrates, okay? They are the glucose, which of course glucose is when insulin is released and will sweep it up, store it as you have those stores of glycogen, and then the rest spills over and goes into your fat stores. Now, the next would be protein, and this is why, one of the reasons why a high protein diet can be detrimental to your health. It's also quite acidic, but it can mean that too much protein, the body just converts into glucose anyway, but it also can spike your insulin still. So you can end up, if you're on a high protein diet, you can have the same problem where your insulin is spiked and you're still storing fat. So definitely just sort of more moderate proteins. Now, because we know, and then fats is the least, will have the least spike. It kind of creates a bit of a buffer. So quite often it's good to have like fats with your meal, because it can buffer your insulin response. But any food is going to spike a little bit. So some things to consider are basically what happens with our digestive system is, when you're eating, the body is going to digest and break down that food. Hopefully, if we've got nice, good gut health, it'll absorb those nutrients as well during the process. So it's working hard. It's actually really quite a drain on on the body's energy systems as well. So digestion's hard work. But what happens is, when it's doing that, it's not metabolizing your body stores. Okay, so not only are you spiking insulin, but you're digesting food, and so you're not tapping into your body stores at all. Now, once you have a break from eating and digesting food, that's when you can start tapping into your body stores, okay? So this is one of the things to consider in terms of your actions. One, you know, what are the levels of your sugars, your carbs, your proteins, your fats, your macronutrients, we call them. What is the ratios of those like? And, you know, how can you restore a bit more balance so that you are keeping your insulin lower? For some people, that may be, they, you know, might say reduce carbohydrates. So that could be, you know, not switching up some things like not eating as much breads and pastas, and or maybe they sort, you know, you swap pasta for some zucchini noodles, or your rice for some cauliflower rice, or things like that. Or if you eat fruit, maybe having it in the evening and allowing the day to keep that insulin more balanced. Or for some people, you know, it may be that they just have a break from food altogether, and that may look like different things to different people, but that could be that, well, we listen to our body, and in most cases, most adults won't be hungry till about 10 a.m. in the morning, or between 10 and 12. So you allow that morning period to not eat, which means your insulin is low, so the body keeps burning fat, and then you eat when you're hungry, which tends to be in that 10 to 12 region, and you have your first meal. So you've now had a period of not eating, which is your fat burning time, and then you eat, and then you can refuel the body as well. Some people do things like a 16-8 fast, and that kind of gives you a little bit of insight into why people might do that, why it supports the metabolism, but also it gives your digestive system a rest, because honestly, we overuse it a lot, and it causes some challenges in the body. It means other stuff can't function, because when that's happening, it is using up a lot of energy in the body. Just remembering that the other things that can affect your insulin is, there's the food, as in the types of food that you're eating. One is just eating altogether, so having a rest from eating. The third thing that really impacts our insulin is also stress. So this is where, like, when people let's say you're, you know, dieting, cutting calories and these kind of things, and you're still stressed, this is how we can put weight on over a period of time with stress, because what happens is we know that we need that quick burning fuel, right? We need the paper on the fire, because we need energy right now to run or to fight. That's your fight or flight response. So it's going to take the glucose out of your stores, dump it into the blood, give you a big sugar rush, glucose rush, and then the body will release insulin, your fat storing hormone, sweep it up and store it as fat. So this is where stress can become a factor that a lot of people don't consider in terms of their supporting their health, but also their metabolism as well. So if you're wanting to keep you know, your metabolism healthy, then it's stress management becomes part of that process too. So just keeping in mind, the aim here is to reduce insulin. You can do that in lots of different ways. Naturally, the more times that you are burning fat, metabolizing fat as your fuel, that log, let's say it's more times in a day, more times, say you have a 16-8 practice for maybe a year, like the more you are practicing metabolizing fat, the better your body gets at burning fat, producing all the different benefits of burning fat, and optimizing your fuels basically. So this is where, like with the reset, with the metabolic reset we do over 13 weeks, we get your insulin down quite low, and then the body kind of goes, oh, I have to burn this fuel source. And then it starts practicing for 13 weeks. And then we, of course, add all the factors that really optimize burning fat. And then you start to become a fat burning machine, which unlocks all those benefits, right? But this is one of the processes. But you can sort of choose, like you can kind of go in that sort of deep and fast space, or you can go in flow. And maybe you flow from having your insulin elevated, and then it comes, you drop it back down with your practices, and then it comes back up. It's just about making sure that we have that space where, for most people, especially let's say you eat, you know, when I used to train as a personal trainer, I used to train people to eat 6 meals a day. So you can imagine what happens. One, it loads the digestive system, so all you're doing is digesting. There's no break. So of course you're not going to even be burning fat during that time, because you're too busy eating and digesting food and actually metabolizing that, not tapping into fat stores. So it's just about finding which kind of practice really suits you and your lifestyle. So I'd love to hear from you in terms of what resonates with you most, and what you're going to put into practice to balance this hormone, which is going to unlock your metabolism of fat, so that you can start accessing those benefits of the increased energy, of the easy weight loss, of the brain firing on all cylinders, and of course all the things like the antioxidant protection and stuff when you actually get really good at it. So I'd love to hear from you and what you would like to put into practice this week.